Hey, 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 it is Dr. Tam. Welcome everyone. So today we are recording and streaming on multiple platforms because we are trying to get the word out. And I am certainly here for it. So over here on Spotify, we got the podcast going on. Super excited. This is my new baby, a new platform, a way to get the message out. This is the Her podcast. Her is for healing, empowerment, and restoration. So another space that has been created to empower women, to help them to elevate in their lives. A lot of times we find ourselves stuck in positions. We find ourselves kind of twiddling our thumbs and kind of looking around and be like, man, what happened to my life? Like, what's going on here? Those feelings of not being fulfilled. And so just kind of being unhappy and maybe feeling a little stuck in some of those places. So we're here for it. This is that space. This is that space to drop jewels and to share new knowledge. Hopefully you can gain a new understanding of things that you can do to actually better your situation. We are about elevating at this point in our lives. We want to live fulfilling lives. We want to reach our full potential. We want to give it all we got because y'all, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. This is showtime. We don't get to come back for act 2. Like this is it. Curtains will be closing soon. So in the meantime, we're going to do all that we can do to live the lives that we have truly been created to do so. So we are jumping right into it. I'm excited for yet another episode. This is going to be episode number 3 on the podcast. So I'm excited about that. And today we're talking about something that has affected a lot of people, including myself. And that is, well, let me see if you can guess what it is. So if I said to you, if I gave you this definition, and if I said to you, self-induced neglect due to the prioritization of others' needs and wants, what comes to mind? Like, what do you think of? People pleasing. Y'all, it's people pleasing. And guess what? We all do it. I recently read a study that like 75% of women and like 80% of young girls experience people pleasing. And so you ask, like, where in the world did this come from? Like, how did this all start? Where do we get these, like, as adults, right? We're having some of these issues and dealing with some of these things as adults, but where does all this come from? And there was another study that actually linked it all the way back to our childhood. And in this one particular study that I was reading about, there was a group of kids actually, and these kids would do different things trying to get their parents' approval. So the parents were actually in the study, the parents were instructed to ignore them or not to pay attention to them, not to give in to them. And when that happened, kids not knowing what was going on, when that happened, then you actually saw the kids doing these things, whatever it was that they thought that they could do to get their parents' attention and approval. And that just goes to show, like, some of the extent we would go through or go to actually get approval from other people, whether it's our family members, whether it's close friends, even within like coming up through grade school, like elementary, junior high, even in high school, the things like during those developmental years, the things that we're actually doing, a big part of us is trying to belong. We just want to fit in. So you think about the little girls out on the playground who are playing a game. They're, playing with their dolls or playing with their toys that maybe they brought to school. And another little girl walks by, wanting to play with them. But then they're like, well, no, you can't play with us. So then what does she do? She goes home, she tells mommy, and then mommy goes and buy her this doll or this really, really cool toy. And she takes it back. She's passing by. The other little group of girls like, oh, what do you have there? See, all of a sudden, now she is accepted because now they see something about her that they want for themselves. So now she has gotten their approval. She had to go do something in order to get their approval, to get their attention. That's in grade school. And that behavior, it doesn't get any better, right? Stakes are just raised a little bit higher and higher and higher as we get older. And then even as adults, like in high school, they're called cliques. I don't know if they still call them cliques or not, but when I was coming up, they were called cliques. Even as adults, we do things to try to get other people's approval. I'm raising my hand. I'm raising my hand because I have been guilty of that. I was just having a conversation over lunch with some friends and sharing with them, y'all, I was doing all this extra stuff, this extra work, like trying to get the attention because there was this position that I wanted. So I'm doing all of these extra things and trying to get the powers that be, right? The managers, get their attention, letting them know, hey, look what I can do. This is the value that I can add. And I did that for a number of years before I finally realized, you know what? Just accept you for who you are. Like you're doing all these extra things to please other people, but we can't please other people. It may last for a little while. Don't get me wrong. It may last for a little while. But my thing now, I've adopted now, I stand with, I please God, I serve people. That wasn't always my view. I was doing things, trying to get other people's approval so I can be a part of the club. So I can get into the quote unquote, the clique. And I'm speaking as an adult. Like when I was trying to get those promotions, trying to move up in my career, right? Had a very successful career, but as I look back, there are a lot of things with the knowledge that I have now and even a better understanding of myself, there's a lot of things that I would have done differently. So I want to help you. If this is you, if you are a person who someone comes to you and asks you, hey, can you do this for me? But then you got this feeling on the inside of you like, I really don't want to do that. But then you like, yeah, sure, no problem. I can take care of that. You're probably a people pleaser. You are probably a people pleaser. We do it for approval. We do it for the recognition. Nobody wants to be disapproved of. Nobody wants to be rejected. It is a very natural human feeling, desire to be wanted. But at what extent? When we begin to neglect our own feelings, to neglect our own thoughts, to just deny ourselves and make other people's needs and wants a priority, then that means that we are people pleasers. And people pleasing is not healthy. I will say it again. People pleasing is not healthy. So here's some of the ways that people pleasing kind of impacts us, right? Like what it does to us. It People pleasing causes us to create this sense of inauthenticity, meaning that you are functioning as a representative. Because the true you wanted to say no. The true you did not really want to do that thing, whatever they ask you. Yet you did it anyway. You were not true to yourself. You were not being authentic. You did not stand your ground. That's a negative impact of people pleasing. Another impact of people pleasing, it becomes very stressful. It becomes very stressful. There have been times when I have been knee deep in working on something. I mean, like just getting it done, right? And then I'll get a text or I'll get a phone call or an email, a pop up. Hey, can you take care of this? Hey, can you do this? And sometimes most often, it would be from family and friends. And I don't care what time of the day or the night it was, it was always like, oh, can you do this for me real quick? Well, just because you say real quick doesn't mean that it's going to be like real quick, because now I'm working on something. Now I have to stop, shift gears, shift my thought, shift my thinking pattern from what I was doing, which was something for me, to something that you wanted me to do for you. So now I'm feeling stressed because I might have been working on a deadline, but because who you are, the place that you hold in my life, I kind of drop everything to take care of your needs and your wants. There's a whole nother issue with that we'll talk about in just a little bit. But it created this stress because yes, I want to do my work, but I also want to help you as well. Because like, I don't want you to be behind, or I don't want you to be in a bad position. So yeah, let me go ahead and knock this out for you. But again, just because you say quick, it don't mean it's going to be quick. It may have taken me for the rest of the day to get it done, but I got it done for you because of the place that you hold in my life. We're going to work on that. Another negative impact of people pleasing. People pleasing is when we are putting other people's needs and wants above our own. People pleasing. Another negative effect is resentment. Man, she always waits till the last minute, knowing that she got this stuff to do, but she waits till the last minute and then she gonna call me and want me to help her. And oh, she get on my nerves. Does that sound familiar? I don't know if y'all have ever had any of those kind of thoughts or those little conversations with yourself, but I know that I have. I have resented that. It's that feeling of resentment when, again, it's that struggle. Like, you want to help your people, but you also have your own work that you have to do as well. So it's just, yeah, it's not good. It is people pleasing. It is a negative effect, because though doing for others oftentimes can turn into resentment, and then you start resenting them. And in my experience, it's like now every time I get a text or I get a call, when I see that name pop up, it's like, oh Lord, like, what do they want now? Because y'all, that's a sign of resentment. Because now you have associated that every time that call comes through from them, they want something from you. And what they want you to do it right now. Whatever it is, it's going to be like a right now thing. Oh, I got to get this in. I got to I'm running out of time. Like, can you please help me do this real quick? So now you are resenting that person. It's another effect, negative effect of people pleasing. People pleasing can also impact you negatively by making you feel as though that you are a failure. When you have multiple, and this often happens when you have multiple people who may be asking of you, and you are trying to meet their needs, you're trying to meet their wants, you're trying to do what it is that they want you to do. And when you do that, what you have to do, your priorities, your obligations are falling behind every single time. So now you feel like, man, I had this whole list of stuff that I needed to do today. But then you got that text or you got that phone call. And so now you look at your list, you got 2 things done off your list today of the 5 things that you needed to do. So now you have this feeling of, man, you start coming down on yourself. You feel as though you're a failure. You're talking down to yourself because you have not done for you what you have been able to do for other people. People pleasing is one of those very deep rooted snipers. Those things that you can't necessarily see. Like people pleasing doesn't walk in as a person or as a being. It's the psychological things, right, that impact us negatively. People pleasing, ways that it can impact us. It could have us operating inauthentically. We're not being our true selves. We end up being stressed out. We're stressful. Because now you got all these people asking you for stuff and you need to do your own stuff. It can have you feeling like a failure. And it can even have you resenting those who were asking those things of you. So now it's beginning to impact your relationships. People pleasing. So when we go to great lengths, we are trying to do all that we can do for the sake of approval, for the sake of being accepted. We're going through these great lengths to try to satisfy other people at the risk of our own well-being. We are neglecting our own selves because we are prioritizing their needs and their wants. Let me tell you really quickly another way this shows up. When you may not even realize that you're doing it. But say, for example, it's report card day. Okay, you pick the kids up from school, they jump in the back seat. You know, they are so excited to share with you their report card. So you look at their report card and you like, oh, my baby got all A's. Yes. Oh, I'm so proud of you. They see you like, oh, mama is so happy. Yes. That is one way I can make, because I want to make my mama happy. I want my mama to be proud of me. Yes, because I got all A's. So then, what that child has been able to do, they have associated to make mama happy, make good grades. So then what happens when there's an off grade? What happens when they get in the car and they bring a C home? They not bringing no A's. Uh-oh, I see a C on this report card. Now, baby, what happened? I mean, yeah, you did good over here, but instantly your eyes are going to be drawn to that C first. And you're not going to be all clapping and hype like you were the last report card day, Because that C, you're like, oh, wait a minute. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's going on? So now it's like, oh, I've disappointed mama because I made a C on my report card. You not even thinking what you have done, but the child, they are receiving that, they are collecting, they are gathering data of how to please mama. They know that all of those A's is one way to please mama. You bring home a C, mama not so happy anymore. So now the next time around, I got to get back in here and I got to work super hard. And then babies start stressing themselves out because as the year goes on, things are going to become a little bit more challenging. But now baby is all stressed because, oh, I can't figure out this math. I gotta make an A. I gotta make an A in math, but I'm not understanding this right here. So now the child is stressed out. But you not even knowing that that the child has collected data of how to please the parent. How to and not to please the parent. It starts at a very early age. Natural human reaction or wants, desires, need is for approval and acceptance. And sometimes we operate in ways not knowing that we're actually creating negative patterns that are going to impact us significantly if we don't break those patterns early on. So what is it that we can do to overcome people pleasing? Here are a couple strategies. If someone asks you to do something, I want you to be self-awareness. When they ask you, say, "Cuz can I borrow $20? What's that feeling that you just got?" What's that feeling that you just got? So this is where that self-awareness comes in. What are you feeling when they come to you asking you for money? Self-awareness. Be in tune, be in touch with your feelings and your thoughts. Learn how to listen to yourself and pause. Give yourself a quick little pause. During that pause, and here's another strategy. We're going to kind of put these two together. Here's another strategy. It's called a 10-minute rule. So when they ask something of you, instead of getting a quick response, you're going to wait about 10 minutes. Now, during that 10-minute window of time, ask yourself, do I really want to do this? What is your gut telling you? Did any feelings come up when they ask you that? Do I really want to do this? And then number 2, why? You're literally going to check yourself to see if you are doing it to please them, so they'll like you, so they'll accept you. It can be from anybody. It can be from a family member, a coworker, your boss, your man. It can be literally anybody. By setting that 10-minute rule, you are giving yourself an opportunity. You are prioritizing you, because that is when you want to check in with you. Wait a minute. How do we feel about this? Do we want to do this? Why do we want to do this? What can be the outcome of this? So now you're prioritizing yourself, and you're stopping and you're thinking about you first before you answer them. That's going to be during that 10-minute window of time. Okay? Another strategy, setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. This is one that I had to learn. For me, setting back, because I would literally, it could be like, 10, 11 o'clock at night, yes, I may still be up. And a lot of people know that I do work into the wee hours of the night. I'm trying to get better. But I do work into the wee hours of the night. So it was no big deal to call at 10 or 11 o'clock at night and be like, hey, cuz can you do this for me real quick? Or can you take care of this for me? So I had to start setting boundaries. I don't care if I am up to 2 o'clock in the morning. Right now, do not disturb is on my goes active on my phone at 9 o'clock. Do not call me. And the only ones who can get through are those who are on my emergency list. Right? I had to learn how to set boundaries. I can't be all things to all people at all times. So I've chosen me. And that's one way that I've chosen myself, is by setting boundaries. People pleasing is a big one. People pleasing is a big one. It's one of those things that if we don't stop and really think about, okay, what's going on here? If we don't evaluate ourselves, I have learned that in order to elevate in our lives, to elevate, we must also evaluate. So this is one of those things, people pleasing, that we have to be more aware of, especially when if you find yourself, you are that go-to person that all people come to at all times, family, friends, co-workers, it doesn't matter. Why is it that they come to you? Do they come to you because they know you'll say yes? It's something to think about. So in this season of elevation, because we are elevating in this season, in order to do that, we are getting rid of some things. We're letting go of some dead weight. And people pleasing is one of those things that we really have to let go of and start prioritizing ourselves more so that we can elevate in this season. All right. That's all that I have for you right now. I do hope that this has blessed you. Let's get better. Let's just get better. When we are aware of these things, people, again, it's not some big monster that's coming in. So it's something that we have to really sit and think about our actions, our behaviors, and how we are operating. It's one of those things that we can't see, and we may not even necessarily know about ourselves, but it certainly impacts where we're going, and we want it to impact it positively. So we know that people pleasing doesn't do that. We have negative impacts in our lives, so we definitely want to get better at people pleasing. All right, that's all that I have for you this time around. I do hope that this blesses you and that you are now better equipped and able to recognize those tendencies about yourself to please other people. And if that is you, there are strategies that we can do to actually help that, so we can overcome some of those negative behaviors so that we can elevate to our next level in life. I'm Dr. Tam. I am your empowerment coach, and I will see you around the next time.